Hello friends, myself Dr. Akhilesh. In this video, I will discuss the important MCQs on the high yield topic mitochondria. This topic is important for the NEET, NEXT, INICET, FMGE, USMLE, PGI and other various entrance exams. So let us start with this topic. So come to the first question. All of the following have circular DNA except. So means in this question it has been asked that which of the following do not have the circular DNA. So the answer to this, let us see the various options here. One option is nucleus, other is mitochondria, chloroplast, bacteria. So remember that the mitochondrial DNA, the DNA present in the chloroplast and the DNA present in the bacteria. So they have the circular DNA. But in the nucleus, the DNA present in the nucleus is the helical DNA. So it is a double stranded helical DNA. So you can see the picture here. So this is showing the double stranded helical DNA which is present in the nucleus. So in this picture you can also see that in the nuclear DNA the adenine it pairs with the thymine and the guanine pairs with the cytosine. So this pairing is also important from the examination point of view, because from this uh, picture or this pairing, many times the questions have appeared in the various entrance exams, that which of the following is the correct base pair for the nuclear DNA. So remember this, the adenine is written as short either A. So A pairs with the thymine which is written either T. So the pairing between the A and T is double bond, and the guanine which is written as the G and the cytosine which is written as C. So the pairing between the guanine and cytosine is the triple bond. So A pairs with the T with a double bond and the G pairs with the C with the triple bond. So all of the following is circular DNA except, so what will be the answer here? Answer will be the nucleus. The nucleus has the double stranded helical DNA. Mitochondria, chloroplast and bacteria, they have the circular DNA. Now come to the next question. The next question is powerhouse of the cell is. So which of the following is called as the powerhouse of the cell? So answer is the mitochondria. So mitochondria, this is called as the powerhouse of the cell because of the production of ATP by the mitochondria. So because it produces ATP, so it is also called as the powerhouse of the cell. So answer to this question is the answer D, mitochondria. This is also called as the powerhouse of the cell. Now come to the next question. The next question is which of the following organelle plays a pivotal role in apoptosis? This question has been asked many times in the exam, and also remember that apoptosis is a very important topic from the examination point of view. So in the apoptosis, I will tell you the three important things which you have to remember. The other things you can read in the pathology also. So number one thing is which organelle play a role in the apoptosis. So answer will be the mitochondria. Mitochondria play an important role in the apoptosis. Number one thing. Number two thing. What is the meaning of the apoptosis? Apoptosis, the word it originates from the Greek. Apo means for, ptosis means falling. So apoptosis means programmed cell death. Remember this. This has appeared many times in the various entrance exam that apoptosis is. So answer is apoptosis is programmed cell death. Now the which organelle play a role in the apoptosis? So in the apoptosis the mitochondria play important role, because in the apoptosis there is increase in the mitochondrial permeability which will lead to the release of pro-apoptotic proteins, and this will lead to formation of apoptotic bodies. So the mitochondria will play a role here. Now the third thing which you have to remember in the apoptosis is what are the various pro-apoptotic mediators and what are the various anti-apoptotic mediators. They have been also asked many times in the various entrance exams, that all of the following are anti-apoptotic except, or which of the following is anti-apoptotic, or all of the following are pro-apoptotic mediators except. So like this many times the various questions they have been asked in various entrance exam. So remember this, the anti-apoptotic mediators means which will inhibit the apoptosis. They are, one is BCL2, BCLXL. Remember this, they have been asked many times in the various exams. Beside this, JAK, STAT pathway, MAPK, PKR, and NF kappa B. They are the various anti-apoptotic mediators. Then which are the pro-apoptotic mediators? So in this section you have to remember the back, they have been asked many times in the exam. The caspases, procaspases, and the caspases cytochrome C, the P3. So they have been also asked many times in the exam. So they are the pro-apoptotic mediators. Right. So remember this, which are the pro-apoptotic mediators, which are the anti-apoptotic mediators. They have been asked many times in the exam. So which organelle play pivotal role in the apoptosis? The answer is the mitochondria. Now let us look at the another sample question here. The another question is the beta oxidation of fatty acid occurs in. The options are mitochondria, cytosol, nucleus, or endoplasmic reticulum. So remember the beta oxidation of fatty acid occurs in. So answer will be the mitochondria. This occurs in the mitochondria. So now you have to remember what are the various reactions that occur in the mitochondria, because they have been asked many times in the exam. So what are the various reactions occurring in the mitochondria? So one is the beta oxidation of fatty acid, another is the electron transport chain, and remember this, the cyanide poison. The cyanide poison, it will act on the electron transport chain and it will inhibit the complex 4 in the electron transport chain. Cyanide poison will inhibit the complex 4 in the electron transport chain. The third important reaction that takes place in the mitochondria is the TCA cycle. TCA means tricarboxylic acid cycle, also called as Rebs cycle, also called as citric acid cycle. The number 4 is oxidative phosphorylation. The number 5 is the ketone body formation or the ketogenesis. So this will also occur in the mitochondria. Number 6 is the some part of the pyridoxine synthesis. It also occurs in the mitochondria. And remember this, number 7 is that some proteins, they are also synthesized in mitochondria. So some protein synthesis, it also occurs in the mitochondria. So these are the important reactions which take place in the mitochondria. So out of these 7, the beta oxidation of fatty acid, this is the most important function of the mitochondria, the most important function of the mitochondria, and this has been also asked in the entrance exam, which of the following is the most important function of mitochondria, right? That is the beta oxidation of fatty acids. So these 7 reactions you have to remember that they takes place in the mitochondria. So beta oxidation of fatty acid occurs in where? So answer will be the mitochondria, right? Now let us look at the next question. The next question is the ketone bodies are produced in. So I have explained this in the previous question regarding the important 7 functions of the mitochondria, that is the beta oxidation fatty acid, that is the electron transport chain, or the third is the TCA cycle, Rep cycle, The fourth is the oxidative phosphorylation. The fifth is ketone body formation. The sixth is part of the pyridoxine synthesis, and the seventh some protein synthesis. So ketone body formation occurs in where? Occurs in the mitochondria. So ketone body produced in mitochondria. So answer will be A, mitochondria. Now the another question is, all of the following metabolic functions occur in the mitochondria except. So now here it has been asked that which of the following does not take place in the mitochondria. So let us look at the options. Beta oxidation of fatty acid. So this will take place in the mitochondria. Biosynthesis of fatty acid. So synthesis of the fatty acid, this takes place in the cytosol, not in mitochondria. Protein synthesis. So I have told that the some protein synthesis. So some protein synthesis will occur in the mitochondria. So this statement is also partially right. The citric acid cycle, this occurs in the mitochondria. So which of the following metabolic function occur in mitochondria except? Except means which do not take place in the mitochondria. So answer will be the B, biosynthesis of the fatty acids. So for this, again remember this, what are the reactions occurring in the mitochondria? So remember these 7 reactions which take place in the mitochondria, which are important from the examination point of view, right? Now after this, now look at the next question here. So what was the answer to the previous question? Following metabolic function occur in mitochondria. So answer was the biosynthesis of the fatty acids, because this takes place in where? Cytosol. So the next question is, all of the following occur in mitochondria except. Again here you have to tell which of the following reaction does not take place in the mitochondria. So I have explained this in the previous questions also. Citric acid cycle, it occurs in the mitochondria. Glycogen breakdown, that is also called as glycogenolysis. So breakdown of the glycogen, this will take place in the cytosol or cytoplasm. The fatty acid oxidation, this will take place in the mitochondria. Electron transport chain, this will also take place in the mitochondria. So which does not take place in the mitochondria? So answer will be the glycogenolysis. So remember this, I am repeating again and again. What are the reactions occurring in the mitochondria? Beta oxidation of fatty acid, electron transport chain, TCA cycle, oxidative phosphorylation, ketone body formation, pyridoxine synthesis, and some protein synthesis, they all occurs in the mitochondria. So this question has been repeated many times. So I hope that you might have remembered these reactions occurring in the mitochondria. Now let us, so what is the answer of this question? Following occur in mitochondria except the glycogenolysis, which will take place in where? This will take place in the cytosol. Now let us look at the another question here. Another question is, all take place in the mitochondria except. Again here, so this question has been asked many times in the exam. All take place in the mitochondria except. So I hope that you by this time or by this question you might have mugged up all the reactions taking place in the mitochondria, because this question has been repeated many times in the exam. So beta oxidation of fatty acids, mitochondria. Embeden-Meyerhof, Parnas or EMP pathway. So this pathway takes place in the cytosol. So this will take place in the cytosol. Electron transport chain, mitochondria. Citric acid cycle, mitochondria. So which reaction does not take place in the mitochondria, or all of the following take place in the mitochondria except, what is the exception here? Embeden-Meyerhof, Parnas pathway, which take place in the cytosol. So this question has been appeared many times in the exam, and I hope that by this time you have remembered or mugged up all these 7 reactions, important reactions that take place in the mitochondria, and out of this one is the beta oxidation fatty acid. It is the most important function of the mitochondria, right? So all take place in mitochondria except the Embedden-Meyerhoff-Parnas pathway or EMP pathway. This is also known as the glycolysis. So this pathway is also called as the glycolysis, and this takes place in where? In the cytosol, which you can see the cytoplasm also. Now let us look at the another question here. So this question, the cyanide poisoning inhibits which of the following complex of mitochondrial electron transport chain? So cyanide poisoning, it will affect which one? So it will cyanide poisoning. So as I have explained earlier also, that this cyanide poisoning, this will inhibit the complex 4 in the electron transport chain present in the mitochondria, right? So cyanide is a cytotoxic agent which will inhibit the mitochondrial complex 4. The complex 4 is also called as cytochrome C oxidase, right? So remember this question was very recently asked in the FMG exam. So FMG 2022 exam, this was very recently asked, right? So now let us look at the another question. Another question is, so cyanide poisoning, answer will be what? It will inhibit the complex 4. So now let us look at the another question is the gluconeogenesis occurs in. So where will the gluconeogenesis take place? So gluconeogenesis is what? It is a synthesis of glucose from the non-carbohydrate source, that is called as the gluconeogenesis. Means the synthesis of glucose from the fat or the protein, means the non-carbohydrate sources. So gluconeogenesis takes place into where it will take place, right? So remember there are 3 reactions, 3 important reactions from the examination point of view. One is the heme synthesis, other is the urea cycle, the third one is the gluconeogenesis. So these 3 reactions, their mnemonic is HUG. These 3 reactions, they occur in both mitochondria and cytosol. Means the reactions will occur first in mitochondria followed by the cytosol. So these reactions, they require the mitochondria plus the cytosol for their completion. So remember these 3 reactions: heme synthesis, urea synthesis, the gluconeogenesis. Mnemonic is HUG. And also remember about the urea synthesis that the first and second step of the urea synthesis, it takes place in the mitochondria. It has been asked in the other entrance exam also, that where do the first and second step of urea synthesis takes place? That occurs in the mitochondria. The third, fourth and fifth steps of the urea synthesis, they take place in the cytosol, right? So what is the answer to this question here? The gluconeogenesis occurs in, so answer will be the both cytosol and mitochondria. D is the correct answer in this question. Then let us look at the another question here. Glycolysis occurs in. So where do this glycolysis takes place? So glycolysis occurs in the cytosol. Now in this you have to remember what are the various reactions that take place in the cytosol or the cytoplasm. So reactions occurring in the cytosol or the cytoplasm, they are glycolysis, glycogenolysis, glycogenesis. Remember this, the 3 gly: 1 gly, 2 gly, 3 gly. 1 gly for glycolysis, another gly for glycogenesis. So glycogenesis. So genesis, glycogenesis. The another gly for glycogenolysis. So remember here, you can also remember here instead of you can remember glycolysis, glycogenesis, glycogenolysis. So this glyco or the you can remember here that they take place where? In the cytosol. Now the other ones are the protein synthesis. It will also takes place in the cytosol, though it require the protein synthesis. They take place in the endoplasmic reticulum and they require the ribosomes. So protein synthesis with the help of the ribosomes, it can occur in the cytosol also. Right, the protein synthesis also occurs in the rough endoplasmic reticulum because the rough endoplasmic reticulum has the ribosomes. Besides this, the fatty acid synthesis is take place in cytosol, cholesterol synthesis, bile acid synthesis or bile salt synthesis, and hexose monophosphate shunt. Right. So these reactions, glycolysis, glycogenolysis, glycogenesis. So remember this, the glyco, right. So these three glyco occurs in the cytosol. The protein synthesis, fatty acid synthesis, cholesterol, bile acid, bile salt, hexose monophosphate, shunt, they all occurs in where? In the cytosol. So these are the reactions occurring in cytosol. So glycolysis occurs in where? Cytosol. So answer will be the cytosol. Now let us look at the another question here. Another question is the glycogenesis occurs in. So the word glyco is here, and I have told you the glyco occurs in where? It will occurs in the cytosol. So remember this, the reactions occurring in the cytosol: glycogenolysis, glycogenesis, protein synthesis, fatty acid synthesis, cholesterol synthesis, bile acid or bile salt synthesis, the hexose monophosphate shunt. These 8 important reactions occurs in the cytosol. So they have been asked in the various entrance exams, right? So after this, so what is the answer to this question here? Glycogenesis occurs in, answer will be the cytosol. So after this, now look at the another sample question here. The marker enzymes of mitochondria is are. So this question has the 5 different options and they may have the multiple or correct answers, or they may have the more than one correct answers, right? So this question was asked in the PGI exam, and this question was very recently asked in the AIMS INICET exam. Right, very recently asked in this INICET 2020-22 exam, the marker enzymes of the mitochondria. So this marker enzyme question is very much important from the INICET and from the PGI exam, and it is also asked in the NIT PG exam also. So for this you have to remember what are the various marker enzymes. So we will come to these options again. So look at the various marker enzyme. So marker enzyme for the lysosome. Lysosome is acid phosphatase. Marker enzyme for the mitochondria. So this has been asked in this question here, mitochondria. So mitochondria, remember, one is the glutamate dehydrogenase, other one is ATP synthase, the third one is the creatine kinase. So these enzymes, glutamate dehydrogenase, and there is one more also that is called as the pyruvate dehydrogenase. So pyruvate dehydrogenase, so this is also important marker enzyme for the mitochondria. So remember these 4 important marker enzymes for the mitochondria because they have been asked many times in the exam. And there are some other marker enzymes also for the mitochondria which are not much important for the entrance examination point of view. So remember these 4 marker enzymes for the mitochondria. The marker enzymes for the plasma membrane, remember this, they have been also asked in the exam. One is sodium potassium ATPase, second is the 5' nucleotidase, and the third one is adenylate cyclase. So these are the three important marker enzymes for the plasma membrane, and they have been asked in the various entrance exams. The marker enzymes for the Golgi apparatus, again there are three, but this enzyme, the galactosyl transferase, this has been asked in the entrance exams. For the peroxisomes, the marker enzyme is the catalase. This has been also asked in the exam. For the cytosol, the lactate dehydrogenase is the marker enzyme. This has been also asked in the exam. For endoplasmic reticulum, the glucose 6-phosphatase, this is the marker enzyme for the endoplasmic reticulum. This has been also asked in the various entrance exams. So from this discussion, what are the various marker enzymes for the mitochondria? So let us look at the option here. Option A is sodium potassium ATPase. So I told you this is a marker enzyme for plasma membrane. Glutamate dehydrogenase, right? So glutamate dehydrogenase, you can see here that the glutamate dehydrogenase and the pyruvate dehydrogenase, they are marker enzyme for the mitochondria, right? So look at this. I have written this for you in the box, separate box here. The glutamate dehydrogenase, the pyruvate dehydrogenase, they are marker enzymes for the mitochondria. Lactate dehydrogenase, as I explained earlier, it is a marker enzyme for the cytosol. You can see the table, right? The lactate dehydrogenase for the cytosol. Then the acid phosphatase. The acid phosphatase is the marker enzyme for the lysosomes. This you can see here in the table here that the acid phosphatase is for the lysosomes, marker enzyme for the lysosomes, right? Then the ATP synthase. ATP synthase is the marker enzyme for the mitochondria, and remember this, the fourth marker enzyme, creatine kinase. So remember these four important marker enzymes for the mitochondria: glutamate dehydrogenase, pyruvate dehydrogenase, ATP synthase, creatine kinase, right? So from the examination point of view, remember this, the markers of the various cell components, they have been asked many times in the entrance exam. They have been asked so recently that from this table, the in this exam INICET 2022, so this appeared in the INICET 2022. This the question appeared from this table, right? So this table is very much important from various examination point of view. So now let us look at another question is the marker enzyme of the mitochondria is. So this I have explained the various marker enzymes. So I have told you that the sodium potassium ATPase is the marker enzyme for the plasma membrane. 5' nucleotidase, it is also the marker enzyme for plasma membrane. Glutamate dehydrogenase and the ATP synthase and the creatine kinase and the pyruvate dehydrogenase. So these are the important marker enzymes for the mitochondria. So these are important marker enzymes for the mitochondria, right? So answer will be the C here, galactosyl transferase. This is the marker enzyme for the Golgi apparatus. So answer to this question is the glutamate dehydrogenase. Option C is the correct for this question. For more questions on the physiology, you can visit my page Physiology MCQ on the Facebook, and you can also go through my book The Conceptual Physiology Review, which is available on the Amazon at very cheap price. You can order this book from the Amazon. So thank you very much for watching the video. If you like the video, then you subscribe the video and like this video. So thank you for watching this video.